Today's rant comes to us from the Joe Rogan Experience. He has on comedian Jim Gaffiga, and I'm not sure exactly when this was recorded, but it illustrates why comedy's dead and why Hollywood isn't really entertaining anymore. Is because all these people are so biased anti-Trumpers and so pro-Biden because they're anti-Trump that they can't possibly see that this president, Joe Biden, is the greatest comedy gold mine that has ever come in the history of politics. And yet, no one will make fun of him falling upstairs. No one will make fun of him wandering off stage where he doesn't know where he's going. The only people you see doing that are the only people blowing up. A lot of comedians and a lot of comedy has died because you're not allowed to make fun of anything and you're not allowed to joke about anything anymore. You know, being able to take a joke about yourself is an important thing. You can't be so uptight that you can't see when you're really making mistakes and when you should really examine yourself. And comedy makes people see the reality of what's going on. But when we have comedians like this who are so anti-Trump that they can't see it, it hurts all of us. And it hurts freedom of speech because comedians really are the ones who push the boundaries of freedom of speech all the time and keep us in a place where we get to say whatever we want. And feelings don't always trump your words. And our world is becoming so soft because of thoughts like this comedian has. So let's roll into it.
Seems to me like the fix is in.
Well, let me ask you this. All right, so any comedian would look at that and go, all right, so somebody in the Justice Department was like, he donated a lot to our people, let's make this go away.
They're talking about Sam Bankman-Fried, the man who collapsed FTX Global and basically lost $40 billion of people's money. Now, the behind the scenes story of that is that he gave that $40 billion to a lot of Democrat campaigns. Like 90+% of the money he was giving out was to Democrat re-election campaigns. So FTX Crypto behind the scenes funded the Democrat campaigns of 2020, 21, and 22. And the fact that you don't know any of that and you're making it seem as though it's just some corruption that went on behind the scenes and it's no big deal shows that you don't know anything, but you'll talk about it anyway.
But here's a question I have. So there is that that level of corruption, but do you look at that level of corruption and see it as equal to what Trump has been repeatedly busted as? Do you see those as equal, or do you see like that as, because I wonder if, like, to me it's like, like the indictments against Trump, I'm like, it's gonna keep going, right? There's gonna be more things, whereas like this is vague corruption. I'm not justifying it, but like I feel like some people see this as totally equal. You think both sides are equally bad?
No, they're not comparatively the same. They're not even close. The Democrat Party is so corrupt, and yet the supporters of that party are so blind to it. Like this man here has no clue and doesn't even consider the comparative difference between how the media would have acted if cocaine had been found in the White House under Trump versus how it has been handled under Joe Biden. The investigation's already been closed. They found nobody responsible for bringing the coke into the White House, one of the most secure buildings on the planet, someone brought coke into, and nobody knows. And they just decided to drop the investigation. Now, we all know that if this happened under Donald Trump, the investigation would have never ended, let alone inside 2 weeks. And the media would have never stopped talking about it. You yourself are bringing up indictments that have been proven false. Accusations that have been proven false. Years upon years upon years of accusations against Donald Trump, and yet nothing has ever really stuck. If we're not going to look at Hunter Biden and his laptop of actual facts that have been proven, then why would we look at indictments that have been discarded and proven to be trash accusations? You want to keep bringing up any accusation as if it was true. And for you to be so unbelievably clueless as to how much corruption the Biden family alone has been involved in, the $10 million set aside from a side deal that was made with China by Hunter Biden, because all you want to see is the Trumpelstiltskin, the scary man, the scary orange man who you're just so afraid of because he says mean things, and you've been programmed to be a sheep. You've been programmed to not say funny things anymore. So much so that no one will even make fun of the funniest president who's ever lived. This man falls upstairs. He rambles on and says nothingness. He says funnier, stupider things than George Bush ever did. And no one held back on either George Bush or Donald Trump. But yet comedians like this are killing comedy by refusing to see the facts and refusing to make fun of Joe Biden and to clown on him like he deserves to be, to clown on the lies that are going on. You know, George Carlin would be rolling over in his grave if he saw all of these comedians who've made their careers off saying borderline pushy things, and now they won't say anything except for, I hate Trump and Joe Biden's amazing.
But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking.
It's just a joke at this point how these comedians aren't funny anymore. That's now the joke, is that comedy is dead and only a handful of them are keeping it alive because they're willing to say it. So thanks to the Bill Burrs and thanks to the Dave Chappelle's for continuing to say what's actually funny and not being afraid of the backlash. Comedians have always been the ones to take the backlash because they're the ones to push freedom of speech to its limits. And we need them to do that, not to lay down like this man is and bow down to the Democrat Party because you don't want to see their faults. So if you like this rant, check out one of these other 2 rants. Thanks for watching.